You keep talking about the autopsy. The autopsy said he was strangled.
Hell no.
This is Eric Banks, a Baltimore City police officer and former Marine, pretending he had nothing to do with the death of his 15-year-old stepson. But what Eric doesn't realize is that police have information that is about to prove he's lying about every single detail of how Dasan Jones died.
And you sitting here like giving me a story. You giving me what I want to hear just to sound good, but it's not it.
Now Eric will do everything he can to convince investigators his stepson took his own life, completely unaware that the medical examiner has already exposed his lies.
Hell no. Hell to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, DJ was no strangle. Hell to the no.
On the evening of July 6, 2021, law enforcement in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, responded to a residential address in Stony Beach after receiving a call for a civil standby, a routine escort to help a woman safely retrieve belongings from her estranged husband's home. When officers arrived at the residence, they were met by 36-year-old Eric Banks, a suspended Baltimore City police officer and a 10-year Marine Corps veteran. Eric appeared cooperative, explaining that his wife Latrice was coming back to pick up their 15-year-old Dasan for a permanent move to Arizona following their recent separation. But when officers asked if Dasan was home, Eric's answer was evasive. First, he said no. Then he suggested the teenager might have run out the back door. Officers searched the home and found nothing, until they opened a crawl space in the master bedroom loft. There, hidden behind a panel, they discovered 15-year-old Dasan Jones, unresponsive and cold to the touch. The teenager had no pulse. Emergency services were called, but it was too late. Dasan was pronounced dead at the scene. Dasan was a sophomore at Glen Burnie High School's competitive biomedical STEM program, a bright student who'd earned a presidential award in middle school. He was passionate about science, dreamed of becoming a doctor, and had just started making close friends in Maryland after moving from Arizona years earlier. He lived with his mother Latrice, his stepfather Eric, who'd raised him since he was 5, and his 2 younger half-brothers, 7-year-old Evan and 3-year-old Tristan. But as you're about to see, Eric's story about finding Dasan already dead in a bathtub has more leaks than the Titanic. Because what Eric doesn't know is that the medical examiner is about to prove Dasan didn't drown himself. He was murdered.
Mr. Banks.
Yes, sir.
So this is Detective DePietro. He's just gonna sit in with me while we talk to you.
No problem. You got water and all? I'll go take a water.
There we go. He had his option of chips. You know why we're here. We want to talk about what happened, and why it happened, and anything surrounding that whole situation. But you know as well as all of us that we have to go through Miranda with you. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go through Miranda first of all, and then I'll start getting all the other information, okay?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Banks, once a person has been taken into custody, the following warning must be given and an affirmative answer received that they understand each of these rights. So I, and then you're going to put your name here for me.
Oh.
So I, Eric Banks Jr., have been advised of my constitutional rights by, and I'm going to go ahead and put my name on there.
Eric seems remarkably calm for someone whose son just died. He's answering questions clearly, showing no signs of the shock he'll later claim paralyzed him. Notice how he's cooperative, engaged, making eye contact. This isn't someone who's emotionally devastated. This is someone who's calculating. And though Eric presents himself as a grieving father, detectives already know something he doesn't. The circumstances of Dasan's death don't match a suicide.
I was in high able to start and quit.
Okay. And I know you were in the military.
Yes, sir.
What branch?
Marines.
Marines.
Yes, sir.
For how long?
10 years.
10 years in Marines. Man.
When'd you get out?
2018.
2018. What unit?
Was it? I was stationed here with the recruiting.
Okay.
Yeah, recruiting.
Recruiting?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, I was with the MAG. MAG was it? I was with the Marine Aviation Group, and then before them, I was with Maintenance Battalion, and I did some time with the 24th MU. Was it? Who else was it? COC 151, Combat Logistics Company. Yeah,
Did you go overseas at all?
3 times.
Where'd you go?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
All 3 times.
Yes, sir.
How long each time?
I think it was the first time was like 8 months. I think the second time, what was the second time? The second time we got stuck over there, so I think we was like,
You'll do a year and then you get stuck 18 months.
No, we was on our way back home. We didn't get stuck in Afghanistan. We was on our way back home from Afghanistan in 2010, and a conflict kicked off in the country. Was it Tajikistan, something like that?
Okay.
It's where the base Manus is. Yeah, conflict kicked off. They overthrew, I think you want to call him that prime minister, the president and the prime minister took control or something like that. The people started fighting the police, everything. The president fled to our base. And then they issued a warning saying that they was going to shoot any planes that try to leave out of the air, blah, blah, blah. And, President Barack Obama didn't play that. So he was
Yeah.
He's like, okay, give all the Marines and everybody ammo, send them to the front. If you do that, this is who we're going to retaliate with. And we literally was like, we had checked in on ammo, and then random turned around the very next day, hey, you're getting ammo, and you're going out to the front. I'm like, for one person?
It just got real.
Yeah, but yeah, it got real. We was doing, they had to do emergency evacuations of the, what's it called?
Embassy?
No, the Peace Corps. Those
Oh,
people,
yeah.
they go out to the villages,
Yep.
but they're Americans.
Yep.
So they had to go
get them.
retrieve them, bring them back to base. They're staying in the cafeterias, they're staying in the libraries, any facility we can utilize to house them, churches, because some of them had kids with them. So, and that was like a shock to me. I didn't know Peace Corps families or people actually travel with their whole family. So yeah, they did that, and then I remember the first day we noticed it though, we was actually walking out of the cafeteria, and that's when you hear the shots being fired, the warning fires. And that's when and at the time I was walking with a major, and he was like, "Thanks, what you doing?" I'm like, "Sir, that's gunfire. I'm from Baltimore. We run."
Eric makes a big point out of his military service, his combat experience, his survival instincts. He talks about friends who died, rockets landing nearby, narrowly avoiding IEDs. He's painting himself as a warrior, a survivor, someone who's seen death up close. What he doesn't realize is this makes his story even less believable, because trained Marines don't panic and hide bodies.
So what made you get out?
It was like I said, it was time for me to go.
What time?
It was too many deployments. Family time was starting to be missed. It was like you blink and your kids are just growing up. So it's like you try to figure out something else so you can do to cherish them, so you can get that moment. So I'm a family guy.
Yeah.
I love it, So I was like, I need to do something to get that time back. I need to do something because just one day your kid's crawling and you come home and he's walking. You're like, wait a minute, when did that happen? I seen Evan stand up and he rolled the ball. So he was crawling to it and he rolled it and he stood up and I'm like, Trees, Evan's walking. She's like, yeah, he did that the other day. Not for me. This is my first time, but so it was like that mental process was like, yeah, we need to.
So did you meet Latrice before you got out of the military?
Yes.
Did y'all meet in the military?
I met her. No, she wasn't in. I was
Okay.
in. I met her. We met through a mutual friend in Yuma, Arizona.
Oh.
My friend, she kept urging me to come to Phoenix. I wouldn't come. She kept telling Latrice about me, telling me about Latrice.
Yeah.
And then she was showing me Teresa's Facebook pictures, and I'm looking like, oh, okay, she seemed like a nice girl.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was just focused on trying to get promoted, trying to get, school.
Focus on your career.
Yeah, focus on, with my career and whatnot. Then one day she called me three-way. And at the time I didn't know, but my friend Natasha, she called us, and I'm like, "What's up?" She was like, "Hey." Then I'm on Latrice. She was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, oh, so and so." That's when we just start talking, and after we start talking, we just start laughing. And you know, Natasha, she's still on there. She's like, "How about y'all two just exchange numbers so y'all can call each other and I can hang up?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." Then after that, we just vibed, and I think that first weekend, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna come down." I was like, "If I come down," you know, I was still thinking about it. I'm gonna come down. Okay, if I come down, you want to come out? Yeah. She was like, "Sure." And then she came out and she hung out. We just went from there.
Yeah. Okay. So, how long have y'all been married now? I know I'm asking a lot of questions. So if I'm asking too many, let me know.
Was it 9 years?
9 years now.
Eric is establishing himself as the perfect dad. But there's a problem with this narrative. If Eric loved Dasan so much, why did he lie about his whereabouts? Why did he move the body? And why did he hide his stepson in a crawl space like garbage? What Eric doesn't know is that everything he's about to say will be contradicted by the physical evidence found at the scene.
So tell me this, you spent 3 years in Baltimore City. I'm interested because I like to see how people travel through the department. Where all did you work at?
Worked in Central, went from Central Patrol, went to the District Action Team, went from District Action Team to...
They call it, is that DAC?
DAT.
DAT. That's right, okay.
So they mostly like you do your drug enforcement. Went from the DAT team to TAC, MMU, Mobile Metro Unit.
What is that?
You pretty much go all over the city doing like...
So wherever there's
major,
problems?
Major traffic enforcement, you apply pressure to that areas.
So you can do that anymore?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're known to get guns like all the time.
Okay.
Like all the time. Sometimes I remember we stopped a car and they had each person in the car, it was like 5 people in the car, each person had a gun. Like literally. We pull the passenger, we pull the driver out, you know, we smell the marijuana, we doing the whole thing. He's like, "Listen, you already know why we're about to go in your car." He's like, "Okay." He doesn't say nothing, there's a bag on their seat. So we sit him down, you know, 9 yards, we pull the front seat passenger out.
Mm-hmm.
He tells us straight up, "I got a gun in my pants." I'm like, "Okay, we got one." We sit him down. You go to the back seat, the guy you pull out, "I got a gun too, sir." Okay. Sit him down.
Everyone pull
yeah, so then we like, "Is there anything on you that I need to know about?" He's like, "Yeah, we all got guns." And I'm like, and then we tell our buddy, like, "Hey, check the front seat. It's a bag thing." He check it, you open it, guns in the bag. I'm like,
That's full more.
yeah, and then one guy, he's like, "I should have stayed home. I should never listen to you guys." I'm like, "You should have just not carried a gun." I'm like, "You guys are crazy." One guy, he was back in town. I'm like, that's crazy.
So Eric obviously knows police procedure. He knows about evidence preservation, crime scenes, investigations. He's been trained on exactly what to do and what not to do when encountering a potential death. And yet that's not at all what he did. Rather than call 911, secure the scene, and start CPR, he hid the body and lied to responding officers.
So you spent 3 years, and you're still active in the Baltimore City Police Department.
Yes, sir.
So from what I hear, you're suspended.
No, suspended now. Well, I'm suspended, yes.
Okay. Why? Can you tell me what's going on with that?
May 8th, I got a peace and protect order against my wife.
Okay.
You got one against her?
Yeah, I got one against
gotcha.
her. Same day, she took the firearms out the house. Well, she took the safe out of the home. And when she took the safe out of the home, you know, Anne Arundel County did press charges.
They pressed charges against
her
for taking the safe
with the firearms. Yes, sir.
And were they your duty firearms?
Duty firearm. My whole full duty belt was in there.
Okay.
Firearm, taser, magazine, pouches, everything was in there.
And you said she took that on?
This is May
8th. Yeah.
Of this year, right?
Of this year,
Gotcha,
2021.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So how did you end up getting suspended?
She turned around and she got went and got a peace order on me, saying that I was following her, and that's when they granted it, not knowing it. Like, I mean, I thought it would have just seemed like, look, this guy just got one on her, you know. We should pull it in and be like a mutual favor, so tell both of them to stay away from, because this is why I had to stop it last time. But once she got it, that's when pretty much
They have to suspend
Yeah, I
you.
have to get suspended.
So did you guys have your final order yet? You hear your-
Well, no, that one got denied. You know, they got denied.
So hers got denied?
Hers got denied.
What about
yes.
yours?
Mom, was it for my May 8th one?
Yeah.
I dismissed it because she agreed that she was going to go to counseling.
Everyone
treatment.
kind of said, we're going to
Yeah.
go our own corner, so...
Well, no, there was, we was like mutual and cordial.
Right,
She was
yeah,
she-
everyone's like, we're just going to take a deep breath, everyone's going to go their own way,
Exactly.
maybe take school.
Exactly. Was it and then coming this week, something was like, it was a hunch, and it was like, something's not right. And then I remember my mom sent something talking about I was following her, this and that. I'm like, how? I'm here at work. How you see I was following? I was like, there's no way. So that's when we both ended up at the courthouse, and I was like, because I was like, I'm just putting a stop to this. So I let the clerk know. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but every time that my wife's trying to leave or something's trying to happen secretly, she there's a peace order for me to get kicked out the house. And I was like, that shouldn't be. And that's when they brought us both in, and they both and that's when we both got seen by the judge, and he granted us a peace order for both of us to stay away from each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was was it 2 days ago?
Now we're getting somewhere. Eric's life was falling apart, and there are red flags behind each sentence. And detectives are starting to wonder, was Deson's death really a suicide? Or did Eric decide that if he was going to die, he wouldn't let his stepson leave either?
So how is it, so now we're on Friday, how is it, because we're playing catch up. What the heck happened yesterday that put you in handcuffs here?
Was it so yesterday? Was it
Would have been the 5th.
the 5th? Was
Or
it?
6th.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry.
Yesterday the 5th, we go to court, and like I said, we both get the peace order protection.
Tuesday.
Was it? Yesterday was Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, yesterday was
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yesterday was
Yeah,
Tuesday.
So yesterday we go to court, get the peace and protective orders. They grant the whole motion. I mean, for us to stay away from each other. The two youngest boys supposed to stay with me. The oldest, he's going to Arizona with his mother. And she tells the judge like that's what you want to do, or something. So right after that, call him. I was like, hey, start packing your bags. You're gonna be going with your mom. He's like, why? I'm like, your mom said you wanted this. You're supposed to do. I guess I don't know. I didn't have that conversation. And previously to that, was it? I can't recall. Was it Saturday? Previously to that, me and him had literally just sat down at the table, because I could tell that my son was like depressed and he was going through and that's really what our trip on the first was like, just to try to get him away, get him out, clear, because it's been a lot of confusion going on back and forth.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Yeah.
So was it we sat down at the table and I'm like, what's going on with you? How are you feeling about this? Where are you at with this? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. He's like, I hate it. I don't want to feel like I'm choosing sides. I just want to be left alone with everybody, because then it's like they're calling me, telling me this and this and that, and it's like I gotta keep certain things from you. He's like, I don't want to be a part of this. He's like, I'm tired. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, how do you feel like far as me and your mom separating? Do you want that? How do you feel? He's like, no, I don't want that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, so do you want to leave Maryland? He's like, I don't want to leave. I was like,
Eric manages to either redirect responsibility away from himself or take on the role of the discerning parent. Decisions are framed as coming from someone else. Outcomes are presented as inevitable. His role is reduced to delivery, not choice. That framing lets him hold authority without visibly exercising it. Responsibility moves outward, while control stays with him. It's a useful position. He can enforce consequences while maintaining the posture of someone who's simply passing along what was already decided.
me and my sons, we was gonna go, I got off work, I picked my boys up, we was gonna go get a hotel room, because, they be asking like, oh, can we go to the pool, or where's grandma? Grandma's staying at the hotel. So I was gonna get a room, and then when we pull up there, it's me and my son in the car, and we see his mom pull up. The reason for me is mom's initial situation, because I caught her interacting with different, first time I caught her acting with a different guy. And this time I actually caught her with having conversations with, trying to start and build a relationship
Gotcha.
with a different with a guy, like, and it was inappropriate conversations. Was it, long story short, I see the car pull up, I see her get out the car, and I'm like, and I'm looking, I'm like, I know that face. And I'm like, okay. So then I look through my phone, see the pictures, and I call the number. And I'm like, hello? And was it? Well, actually, sorry, I waited. We actually left, and we drove back home, because I was like, I'm not getting a room. We actually left, and I drove back home, and what was it? I called the number, and on my way back, and then it was like, is this George Thompson? And me and him, and he was like, yes. I was like, did you just drop off my wife? He was like, yes. And I was like, okay. He was like, from my understanding, you know, she told me that you guys, she's not married, she's like doing her own thing. And I'm like, that's not true. We had a different conversation. He was like, well, he was like, I guess that's the conversation you got to take up with her, because, you know, I'm not being told things are true, and I didn't know that y'all still had a certain standing on what's going on,
Right.
whatever's going on. And I'm like, yeah. So he's like, so he tells me, he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna respect your marriage, and I'm gonna have a conversation with her, and I'm just completely back off, because, you know, I don't want to be a part of that. Was it? Just saw him heard the conversation. He was there. You know, he felt some type of way about it, and he was like, I was like, I'm sorry, but I had him. Basically, I got tired of feeling like, or being made to them or him, feel like I was the villain. I'm the bad guy. You know?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't even do anything. Like I go to work, I come home, I take care of bills. You know, I do what I have to do. And for me to feel like I was taking advantage of him, like, or just cheating on him, like, it's not cool.
Right. I get it.
So
Do you remember what the name of the hotel? Which hotel was
Best
it?
Western,
Which one?
the one up there off of Dorsey. I think it's Dorsey.
Okay. And do you remember what day it was?
I would have to look at my phone, because I remember because the very next day I still went and got a room, and me and my sons, I still was going to go there, but I was like, you know what, I'm not. I just
not
can't.
now.
Yeah, I was just not there.
Just
So I
not
was like,
now,
just not there because
yeah,
it's too much, and I canceled. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. What was it? I can't recall.
It's all right.
Yeah, I can't recall the day.
Okay. But it was the day before you actually got the room.
Was that?
You got a room the next day, right?
Yeah. So no, I was.
Yeah, so you got a room, so it was the day before that she
but
shows up with some dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, you know what? It's still too. Like, I just canceled. Like, not doing it.
Okay.
What was it? And yeah, so then I said goes up to again, like, goes up to that day. Like I said, I called him, told him. He was like depressed. He was like, I don't want to go. And I was like, well, your mom said this is what you want. You know, I don't know. You guys have offline conversations. I'm not a part of that. What was it? So I said, just go and start packing your bags. And he's like, okay. So we wait. I get my paperwork. I come home, and on my way home, it's like I just felt like I was done. Like, you know what? Today's gonna be the day I'm gonna do it.
This is where the story crosses a line. After minutes of framing himself as reasonable, wronged, and pushed aside, Eric introduces a decision instead of a circumstance. He doesn't ease into it. He drops it at the end of a long justification. The timing matters. Suicide isn't presented as a long-standing struggle here. It's presented as a conclusion. And detectives now have to evaluate everything that came before it through a different lens.
So when you got home yesterday, was there anyone in the house?
Yes, it was. The son was in the house.
Okay.
Evan was in the house, and Tristan was in the house.
So you go in there and you're doing all this stuff, right?
I go in there and I go in there. I see him upstairs. Like, he got his bags packed. I had to go and take your stuff downstairs. When your mom's come, she's gonna. She should be. And she called him, and I was like, she should be coming. She should be coming with the police. They're gonna do because they're gonna escort her,
Right,
serve her.
Standby.
They're gonna serve her, and then they're gonna escort her with a. They're gonna escort her with a. No, sorry. They're gonna serve her with a piece of protective order, and they're gonna escort her to get whatever she needs to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then unfortunately, you gotta go. He was like, Rick, I really don't want to. Like, son, unfortunately, you gotta go. Like I said, before she called, he's like, mom's calling. He was like, what do I say to her? I say, you know, tell her. You know, just talk to her. Like, she called me, whatever. And he answers the phone, and they have a conversation. And that's when I'm like, okay, what she say? She said she's gonna be in the area. Just bring my stuff downstairs. I said, okay, cool. I said, so the police should be coming. And when they come, everything goes smoothly. Was it? I go downstairs and I'm in the kitchen. I just made a big bowl of Gatorade. not a big bowl, but a big picture of Gatorade. It's blue. It's probably still, I believe it's still on the counter. But like I said, you say you never went to the house.
I don't.
There's a blue picture on the counter. Was it then? Was it the bag of crushed up pills that I had was right there. The son came downstairs. He asked me something. He was like, what did he say? He came downstairs. He asked me something, and I can't remember his exact words. But he was like, asked me, was it about? I think it was a leave or something like that. I said, son, just wait. We're not gonna because he was like, I don't want to go. He was just telling me that he didn't want to go. Like that. I said, look, just wait. We're not gonna talk about shit because I'm gonna take your brothers to your mom's house, and I was coming back. I said, if your mom gets here with the police before I get back, unfortunately, you got to go with her. That's just the way it is. I got, he went downstairs, and I'm telling Tristan and Evan get their stuff or whatever. She calls Evan's phone. She was talking to Evan briefly, and then I'm not sure if I don't know the extent of how long. I remember this when the phone call ended. Was it Desan? I mean, I was back in the kitchen. Desan, he went back upstairs. I'm seeing him go back upstairs. When he was going upstairs, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I was like, you're right, because he had a shirt like this. I'm like, okay. So then he runs upstairs, and that's when I'm still downstairs in the area, whatever. Was it when he's upstairs? I remember Tristan. I told Tristan, I said, Tristan, go get your shoes. Tristan said, okay. So Tristan goes upstairs, he gets his shoes, and he comes, he's like, Daddy, what's wrong with DJ? I'm like, huh? So then I go upstairs, and DJ's in the bathroom, and he's in the tub. And that's when I seen him. I was like, what the fuck? That's why I pulled him out the tub. And as I'm pulling him out the tub, I laid him flat on his back on the floor. And then, at that time, I'm not sure, I think it was Evan or Tristan. He was like, Daddy, somebody at the door. And I'm just looking at my feet. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, what the fuck?
For someone who loves his kids so much, Eric is weirdly matter-of-fact about describing how he found Desan dead in the bathtub. He explains it step by step, focused on sequence and timing, not shock. The details sound procedural, and when officers arrive, he controls the information they get. But here's the problem. Eric admits he then lied to those officers about Desan being in the house. He told them Desan had run out the back door. Why would a grieving father lie about that?
So I go downstairs, I go to the front door, the officer's there.
Okay.
And I panic, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to say. So he asked me, he was like, hey, what's going on? I start talking to him, telling him what's going on. What did he say? He said, so what's the situation? And I tell him about the situation. And I was like, my wife, she's supposed to be waiting on y'all to come. Y'all supposed to be serving her with a piece of protective order and whatnot. She's like, yeah, she's supposed to be picking up our son. And he was like, is she here? And at the time, he was upstairs on the floor, in the bathroom. And when he said, was she here? My mind, I was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You panicked?
Yeah. Because it already looked bad. I already moved him. And I was like...
Oh, you got him out of the bath.
Yeah.
Right.
And when I got out of the bathtub, I asked the officer, and it's the most body one camera was on, you could see, I asked him, like, can I go in the house, use the bathroom real quick? I remember asking that, and he was like, no, just wait, okay. Then the other officer show up. And then when he showed up, he's asking, he was like, so, is the son here? Still the same thing, I should have said yes.
Yeah, I knew in a perfect world.
I knew my state of mind. My state of mind was to kill Eric.
Okay.
Eric wants detectives to believe he was in shock, that he panicked when police arrived. But let's think about this logically. If your child was found dead and police happened to show up seconds later, what do? You scream for help. You beg them to save your kid. You perform CPR. You don't calmly answer the door and tell them that your son ran away. That's not panic. That's deception. That's someone trying to hide something.
Now let me ask you this, is that why, because I did watch some of the footage, because we just got our things just went by, I think, actually yesterday. When they went to loosen your handcuffs, you kind of got a little silly on them. You remember that?
Yeah.
What was you went for the officers going, what was up with that? I mean,
Well, before we get to that, when I first went back in the house, when the officer told me, the tall officer, he told me, he said, go get the sergeant's phone. I ran upstairs, his phone was in the bathroom on the counter.
Okay.
So I run upstairs and I get the phone. Because the boy went back up. Before I did that, I asked him, I said, can I go upstairs? Can I go in and use the bathroom? So I initially wanted to shut the door. He said, no, just wait. And then the other officer, he was like, well, go I need you to go grab the sergeant's phone. I ran up, grab it, and I shut the bathroom door. I'm still nervous.
Which bathroom was it? Was it the one in the master or the small?
No, the small one. The small one in the hallway. And I'm still shaking, whatever. And then when I come back downstairs, I go, I go out the door, I give him the phone, I'm still shaking in my hand, and everything's in my head saying, all right, just say what you saw. But then, in my other part of me, I'm like, my son just did this.
Right.
I called my mom, told her that I'm dropping the kids off. My initial plan was to come back to the house. I was gonna be laying next to the son, I was gonna do it.
Okay.
I was gonna die next to my son.
So you're gonna take the two little ones over to your mom's house and come back? Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
That was my plan. I was gonna take the two little ones over, come back, and I was gonna die right next to him. I was gonna die holding my son's hand because he just did this.
Eric's story is that he grabbed the officer's gun because he wanted to die. He wanted the other cop to shoot him. It's a convenient excuse for assaulting a police officer, but it doesn't explain what happens next.
I don't know why. This was like, I gotta move him. Picked him up, did the fireman carry, took him out of the bathroom, into the master bedroom, up the stairs, and I was like, because I know they're gonna want to come back in the house and search it. And I was like, I'm gonna be cool, I'm fine with that. I was gonna let them search it. And I tucked him in, the area, and I left the thing open.
So when you say the area, you're talking like a
little crawl
space? Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And that was because like I said, my plan was
Okay.
I went downstairs and talked with them at the front door. Of course, they say you might have to come to the place we're looking at.
Now, Eric admits to an even bigger lie. After telling police Desan wasn't home, he went back upstairs, picked up his stepson's body, carried it up to his master bedroom loft, and stuffed it into a crawl space behind a panel. He's trying to frame this as grief, saying he wanted to die next to his son. But that makes no sense. If you wanted to die with your child, why hide the body? Why not just do it right there? The real reason is much simpler. Eric was covering his tracks.
Well, actually, sorry. Before they even, I'll back up and tell you because you say they smell bleach.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in there, I took his shirt and everything, and I took everything that was in the bathroom. I folded to wrap it up. Was it? And I took all that, and then I noticed that it was like whatever. It was like stain on the carpet, and like if you come up the stairs, there's two stains. It was two stains on the carpet like that. And I know I did clean those up.
When you talk about stains, you think it's blood or just
I think
regular
it was blood. I think it was blood.
Okay.
Because like I said, when DJ came up the stairs, he was like this.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like in my head, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But then again, I know he was in the bathroom, and then I know he did. Like I said, I think he did ask him about a leave or whatever. Was it? But getting back to that, when they came in, they searched the house, they went upstairs, and they seen the thing open. That's when the officer, when he asked, I panicked, and I was like, yeah, this is where I keep my safe, blah, 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 whatever. But the son was in there.
The son was in there, okay.
And they put the handcuffs on me. I went back downstairs, and when they brought me downstairs, I was like, my life is over because it looks different. It's no matter what I say from this point, it looks like I'm a liar. It looks like I lied because I already lied twice. You asked me with the son in the house, I said no. You asked me did I know where he went, I said no, I think he ran out the back door or something. And so it always looked bad because I'm already done told you a lie. Even though in my head it's like, Eric, you probably should just said the truth. You probably honestly should have left him where he was at.
Call police or down to
Yeah,
the fire
well-
department or whatever.
Yeah, call the police.
Well, that's
but-
perfect world.
but-
Sometimes we.
But I was already in.
things.
I was already in the mindset of Eric's gonna die today.
So Eric didn't just move the body. He cleaned the crime scene with bleach. These aren't the actions of someone in shock. This is someone who knows he did something wrong and is desperately trying to hide the evidence. But things were about to get much worse for Eric, because detectives were about to reveal evidence he didn't even know existed. First, though, the detective has Eric walk him through the moments before Dasan's death. When Eric is getting his two biological sons ready to go over to Eric's mother's house, and Dasan is supposedly acting strangely.
He came upstairs and he was like, when he came up, he was like I don't like what was it? I don't want to say hunch, but he came upstairs and he was like this, and he went upstairs, and so I'm like,
Did that seem awkward, or was he just like wiping his nose? Or?
I think he was wiping his nose, but it seemed awkward as hell. So I remember he went upstairs. Was it? And then when he went upstairs, he didn't come back down. He didn't come back down at all.
And that was right. He went upstairs after he dropped his luggage down in the basement or the main
'cause
floor.
remember he went upstairs and then he tried to have a conversation. He tried to have a conversation with me, and that's when I kind of shooed him away, and that's when he went back
Back
downstairs.
down. So he didn't go right upstairs. After you shoot him away, he went downstairs.
Yeah, he was downstairs.
Downstairs in the basement.
In the basement, yes.
For you don't know how long.
No, I know he was down there for a good period. Because I still was in the kitchen, and I remember like I'm just pacing.
And then that's when you see him walk upstairs.
That's when I see him
with
go
the shirt.
upstairs. Yeah, that's when I see him go upstairs, and when I remember when I seen him go upstairs.
Yeah.
That's when Tristan, like that's why I'm like, Tristan, all right, y'all come on, get your shoes. And that's when was it? Tristan's like, Daddy, with my shoes. I'm helping him. I'm looking for his shoes, whatever. I find his shoes at the bottom. Was it? No, I found Evan's shoes at the bottom. I see Tristan, we see one shoe. So we tell Tristan, go find your other shoe. Tristan goes upstairs, and then Tristan's upstairs. He's like, I can't find it. And I'm like, look for it, it gotta be in your room. And I know Tristan, he comes, and then when he comes back down, he's like, I remember he's like, Daddy, what's wrong with DJ? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then Tristan comes downstairs, I put his shoes on. I told him and Evan sit in the living room. Him and Evan sits down in the living room. That's when I go upstairs. And when I went upstairs, it was like, I went into the bathroom, I opened the door, and I went to the bathroom, and that's why I see him in there, and he's in the tub.
In the tub.
He's in the tub, he has no shirt on. It was,
Does he have pants on?
he had pants on.
He had his underwear?
He has underwear on.
Does he wear glasses?
No, he doesn't wear glasses. But he was in the tub, like, to the side.
Let's break down Eric's timeline. He says Dasan was in the basement, came upstairs holding his nose, and then went to the bathroom alone. Eric stayed downstairs with the two younger boys. Then, supposedly, within minutes, Dasan filled an entire bathtub, got in fully clothed, and drowned himself, all while his stepfather was on the floor below. Does that make sense? A suicidal teenager takes time to run a bath, climb in with his pants on, and submerge himself while his little brothers are steps away? The detective is having a hard time buying it, so he has Eric draw it out for him on a piece of paper.
Okay. So then you came up the stairs, and what did you go ahead and explain? Or
Came up the stairs, and the door was already kind of like, it was like jarred open.
Yeah.
It's open. The door's open. I walk in, and I see feet. He's kind of like here.
So his head is away from the door.
Yeah, his head is away from the door. It's like the faucet is. This is the faucet, and his head's like right here. This is his feet here.
You said that the tub was full.
Yeah, the tub. Yeah, it had water in it.
It had water?
Yeah, it had water.
How much water?
Almost. Let me see. Enough water was though. It was over. It was over him.
It was over his head.
Yeah.
So his whole head was completely submerged in water.
Yeah. So if this is his head.
Yeah.
If this is the base of the water. This would be his head. This would be approximately about where the water maybe was.
Okay. All right. So his head was a good like 6 to 8 inches under the water.
Approximately. I'm not sure. I mean, it was under there. Yes, it was under the water.
Was the rest of his body under the water?
Well,
Except for his feet, because you look like he had his feet
This
up.
portion was under the water, but then this portion, this all was out the water.
Okay.
So then immediately I see him, I grab him, and once I grab him, I laid him out right here, right over top of the rug.
Is there anything that you noticed about him in the tub? Any type of like marks, anything, any medication next to him, anything like that? Anything that you noticed that stands out?
Only thing I didn't really know. I noticed the bottle of leaf is here. It's a cubby.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's other than that, like when I turned him over, I know it was like, I won't say it was like red, like a redness. Like I won't say the water wasn't red, but it's like maybe some red in the water. Was it? And that's when I came back out, it's like if this is the carpet right here. There's like a speck right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why probably whoever said they smelled bleach, it wasn't bleach, it was 409.
What Eric didn't know was that Dason's body had been transported to the office of the chief medical examiner. A forensic pathologist had already performed a preliminary autopsy examination, and those findings were about to destroy every single part of Eric's story.
Going straight with this.
So I'm gonna tell you this. I know that you spent 10 years in the military, and you were in the Marines, weren't you?
Yes.
What's their whole thing in the Marines? Like, what do they always teach? Honor, integrity.
Honor, courage, commitment.
Yeah. And, like, to be honest with you, I don't see that from you right now based on what you're telling me.
Okay.
I think you telling me something different.
Okay.
But I know you're a Marine.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that's Marines, man. And that's one thing that they would, like, integrity, honor. No, you don't mess with that if you're a Marine.
Yes.
You don't touch that. And then the other thing is, like, you made it through a police academy, man.
Yes.
You have integrity. I know you want to tell me the truth, and you sitting here like giving me a story. You giving me what I want to hear, just to sound good, but it's not it. That's not it.
Trust me, I'm not trying to sound good to you.
And I'm gonna tell you the other thing, and I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Yeah.
You keep talking about the autopsy. The autopsy said he was strangled.
Hell no.
The autopsy said he was strangled.
Hell no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. DJ was no strangle. Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
I'm gonna just let it sink in and let you decide what you gonna, like, explain that to me.
The moment Eric hears strangled, he goes bug-eyed and knows his story is about to come crashing down harder than a fat man on stilts. The medical examiner found evidence that Dason Jones died from strangulation, not drowning. By this point, it should be obvious to anyone with more than a handful of brain cells that Eric has been full of garbage this whole time. But now he's directly confronted with the paper-thin house of cards he's stacked up between him and the detectives in this interrogation room. You can't strangle yourself unconscious and then drown in a bathtub. Someone did this to Dason. All Eric can give are desperate explanations.
No, DJ wasn't strangled.
Well, then what happened? Tell me what happened.
DJ was not strangled. DJ, like I told you, DJ went downstairs, he came back upstairs, and DJ was in that tub. Like I said, when I came in that room, he was in the tub. When I grabbed him out, I grabbed him like this, and I pretty much put him in the fireman's carriage. When they left, I could drag them up to my room. If that's the case, I would have left him in there, and I would have said, or had them come in there to be like, but DJ wasn't no strangle. There was no way DJ wasn't no strangle.
That's your boy. You had pride in him.
Yeah, but DJ
you had pride in him. You were trying to help him out with his grades. You were getting him in STEM classes, and then this happened.
But you saying DJ was strangled? Nah.
Well, then tell me what happened. This didn't happen. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This didn't happen.
You saying he wasn't in the tub?
So no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I believe that part. But I believe something else happened. You need to tell me the whole story.
Like I said, DJ, when I came in there, DJ was literally in that tub. There was no way I'm gonna sit there and strangle DJ, not harm Tristan. Why would I don't even have no ammo to want to strangle this boy. I have nothing against him to want to strangle him. Nothing.
Okay.
No anger in my heart, no nothing. Cause then, like I said, if I was gonna do that, why would I leave my other two boys? If I was gonna do that, I would have took all of us out. DJ was not no strangle.
So then what happened? Tell me the story.
DJ was not.
We start from scratch. Tell me the story.
DJ was not no strangle.
Well, then tell me what happened. You're not telling me the truth. Tell me what happened.
Bro,
I'm right here standing right now. I'm giving you a chance right now.
You asked me to tell you that I strangled my son.
No, I didn't. I'm telling you to tell me what happened. If that didn't happen, tell me what happened.
That didn't happen.
Well, then tell me what did.
DJ did not get no strangle from me.
Well, what happened?
Notice how Eric immediately starts explaining why strangulation wouldn't work. He talks about how there would be defensive wounds, how Dasan would have fought back, how Dasan knew Taekwondo and boxing. He's giving detectives a detailed breakdown of what strangulation evidence should look like and why it wouldn't be present in this case. But here's the problem. He shouldn't know those details, unless he's the one who strangled Dasan and made sure there wouldn't be obvious signs.
Like I told you before, when I came into the house, and I went up the stairs, I went straight to the kitchen, was in the kitchen, then I went up to my room, back out. I went up to DJ room. I told DJ, I said, go ahead, you got your bags back, go ahead, bring him back down. DJ brings his bag, he was okay. But then his mom, we were in his room, and his mom called while we were both in his room. Mm-hmm. And she was on the phone with him. He was like, I'm on the phone. I was like, yeah, was it? Because then before he even had that phone call, he's like, I don't want to go. He was like, Mom's calling me. And I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. He's like, what do you want me to say? I said, talk to her. Again, DJ then comes, he's in his room. I didn't go into my room. I go upstairs again. Like I said, I grab my Ziploc bag. I go downstairs. I'm in the kitchen and I'm doing my thing. But I remember he came downstairs. He went downstairs with his bag. When he came downstairs, he went downstairs with his bag. I remember he came back up. Like I said, he was trying to talk to me about something. I know I disregarded him. I remember he went downstairs, then he came upstairs. And I remember I was in the living room with Tristan and Evan, trying to get them shoes. I remember Tristan goes up, and he's like, what's wrong with DJ? Because Tristan couldn't find his other shoe. I remember when Tristan came down, and that's when I had both of it. I told him and Evan, I said, go sit in the living room. I had them go sit in the living room. I walk up there, and I literally see DJ in that tub. There's no way, because if DJ was strangled, anybody who was strangled, I don't care what's going on. Even if you fighting, you scratching, you clawing, you doing something, because you're going through a stressful environment. You doing something to have a situation. There was no struggle in that house.
I mean, unless he was drugged.
Nah. Now you're saying no. Now you're saying something. No.
Okay, I'm just making.
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
So what happened?
No, that's not it, bro. Come on.
So then what happened?
He was not. Trust me.
I'm just bringing up scenarios. You tell me what happened.
Because DJ wouldn't even take no. I wouldn't even have him be like, "Hey, DJ, here, take this pills." No. Because like I said, no, definitely not.
Okay, so
he was not drugged.
So then what happened?
Like I said again, all I know is he went downstairs. He came upstairs, and he was upstairs for a good period of time. Like I said, he was up there for a really good period of time. Then I was downstairs. I was in the kitchen area. I went in the living room area. Had to get the kids ready. Tristan identified and said, that was wrong with DJ. I had him come out and sit in the living room. I went upstairs. As I'm in that bathroom, the officers are at the door. Like the one with Fast, the one who had everybody on camera on. He's at the door, and I'm literally like, what the fuck? This shit's gonna look fucking weird. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? But there's no way.
Why are you saying what the fuck? This is gonna look weird. What happened? What happened?
When I say
wait. What happened just prior to that officer knocking on your door?
When I pulled him out the tub and I had him laying on that carpet.
And you did not touch him any time prior to that?
No, I would not strangle no DJ.
At this point, Eric's denial hardens. He isn't just saying, "I didn't do it" anymore. He's trying to argue the mechanics of strangulation itself. That's a common shift once a suspect realizes the accusation isn't going away. Instead of explaining what happened, Eric focuses on why strangulation shouldn't be possible, describing what he thinks a struggle would have looked like and why it doesn't fit.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, the way this is gonna be something you're gonna have to live with for the rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
This is something you are gonna have to think about every night before you close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, you're gonna think about what you did to him. That's what you're gonna think about. You're gonna think about what you did to him. And it's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Or what you can do is you can talk to me. You can tell me what really happened, and at least that load will be off your chest.
See, I'm telling you right now, there's no, like, you're telling me to say I strangled my son. I did not strangle my son. That's what you're asking me. I understand you're trying to lie with me and, you know, and show the compassion, trying to, like, but there's no me in strangling DJ at all.
Okay, so let's take strangle out.
There's no me strangling DJ.
We taking strangle out of the equation now.
Okay.
What happened?
I told you what happened.
We taking strangle out.
Yes.
What happened?
He was upstairs in that tub. DJ was literally in that tub.
You didn't put him there.
I did not put him there, no. DJ was physically in that tub already. When I came to that bathroom, DJ was in there.
Did you assist him at all?
No.
With anything?
No, I didn't assist him at all with nothing. Nothing. I did not assist him getting in that bathroom. Did not assist him going in that bathroom. He was upstairs already. And like I said, when he went downstairs, he was downstairs for a good period of time. When he came back up, I came back, and it was, when he came back up, he was upstairs, and what's his name? I was down. Tristan was down. Tristan was trying to go, what's his name, with his shoe. I told him, and that's when Tristan said out of his mouth, "Daddy, what's wrong with DJ?" Tristan literally said that out of his mouth, and I went up there to check on him. I don't recall seeing him. I don't recall him removing no belt. I don't recall removing anything that could have been around his neck. I don't recall moving this like that.
So here's the thing, and I hate to frustrate you, and I hate to, but I also have a job to do, and I also have to get down to the bottom of this. And when I walk through the door, and when I hear everything that happened, things don't add up. Things don't make sense.
Okay.
They don't make sense at all. If you would have done things different, if you would have been like, yes, my son, I just found my son in a tub, I helped him out, and told the officer, you know this. If you would have done it that way, it would have been different. But the fact that you didn't, now you're sitting here trying to explain yourself.
Well, I'm sitting here because the whole situation, I'm sitting here because I lied and said he wasn't in the house. I'm sitting here because I didn't tell the officer, like you said, straightforward what was going on.
That's two lies right there. How, like you said earlier, how are we supposed to believe you now?
Yeah, like I said.
So you telling me how am I supposed to strangle him? How did I not assist him in getting in the tub and, I don't know, possibly drowning him? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. But all I
even
know,
if
but here's the thing. All I know is that you keep lying.
No, bro.
You lied initially twice.
At this point, Detective Lewis abandons explanations entirely. He's no longer interested in Eric's theories or hypotheticals. Instead, he applies moral pressure. Lewis frames the situation as permanent, something Eric will carry for the rest of his life, because that's how detectives test whether a suspect is capable of admitting responsibility. He also locks in the lies Eric has already confessed to, removing any path back to innocence. What Lewis is probing for here isn't details. It's whether Eric is psychologically capable of crossing the line from denial to truth.
Let me tell you this. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
I know that. I know for a fact.
Okay.
That's where this situation is right here to get a story, to try to build a picture of what possibly took place in this incident. This incident is try to put the pieces together to see what actually happened, what didn't happen, to try to because then whatever happened or whatever you presume that happened, you still have to go and apply charges. And that's just point blank period. I know that. I know, like, the whole time us to talk, asking me your line and saying, it's good, blah, 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 just to get me, for me to be comfortable to say something.
I'm just trying to get you to tell me the truth. That's all.
But I'm not saying I'm not telling you like I strangled my son, because I didn't strangle my son. I definitely did not strangle my son.
Okay, so the scenario that you gave me right here is what happened. That's how it happened.
He was in the tub when I came upstairs.
But it's a yes or a no.
Yes.
This scenario happened.
Yes.
So it happened that way.
Yes.
The way that you told me.
Yes, he was. Yes.
Okay.
Because you're like, that's why I say, like, no, he can't strangle. No way.
So you didn't kill your son?
No. Did not kill that boy.
Despite the autopsy findings, despite the lies, despite moving and hiding the body, Eric refuses to admit what he did. But his denials won't change the physical evidence, and what happens next will determine whether he spends the rest of his life in prison. Eric Banks never confessed to killing Dasan Jones. Throughout the entire 5-hour interrogation, he maintained the same story, that he found Dasan already dead in the bathtub and that his stepson had taken his own life. Even when detectives confronted him with the autopsy finding that Dasan was strangled, Eric refused to change his account. Instead, he offered alternative explanations: the blackout game, accidental choking, anything that didn't involve him actively killing his stepson. But while Eric could explain away his lies to police, his movement of the body, and even his attempted suicide by cop, he could not explain away the medical evidence. The physical findings on Dasan's body told a story that directly contradicted anything Eric claimed happened that day. Forensic evidence doesn't rely on memory, emotion, or excuses, and it doesn't change to fit a narrative. On July 7, 2021, less than 24 hours after Dasan's death, Eric Banks was formally arrested and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, first-degree child abuse, and second-degree child abuse. He was also charged with first- and second-degree assault on a law enforcement officer after attempting to grab an officer's gun during his arrest. Eric was held without bail at the Anne Arundel County Detention Center while awaiting trial. His defense team filed multiple motions challenging the autopsy, arguing the findings were inconclusive and that Dasan's death could have been accidental or self-inflicted. Every one of those motions was denied. Prosecutors built their case around 3 pillars: the autopsy showing strangulation, Eric's consciousness of guilt demonstrated by hiding the body, and his documented behavior and mental state that day. The trial began in 2023, nearly 2 years after Dasan's death. Jurors heard testimony from the medical examiner, who explained that Dasan died from compression of the neck consistent with strangulation, not drowning. They were shown interrogation footage highlighting Eric's lies, his cleanup of the scene, and his repeated attempts to rationalize the evidence away. The defense argued Eric was suicidal and overwhelmed, but not a killer. The jury didn't buy it. After 3 weeks of testimony and less than 8 hours of deliberation, the verdict was clear: guilty on all counts, including first-degree murder. On January 12, 2024, Eric Banks was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus additional consecutive sentences for child abuse and assaulting an officer. He will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. Eric Banks was trained to protect others. Instead, Desan Jones, who dreamed of becoming a doctor, never got the chance to grow up.